Welcome to controller land.
Yes. Uh, we got a suggestion for having our controller binds to do things like this, or I don't know, like this, where you can see your commander site. So that's what this video is about, and it'll probably be the first of many, hopefully. So, yeah. Let's start talking about controller binds. Yeah, and at the end of the video, if you just want to skip to that, which is totally fair, you can just look at our settings, but we're just giving you descriptions of what we want. Okay, so what we think is probably one of the most important first steps is separating your main gun controls so that you can fire your machine gun and your main gun independently, as shown, because usually they're bound to the same trigger, and it can be quite annoying if you want to just shoot your machine gun and you end up shooting your main round, and then a tank comes up next to you and just bonks you, and it's never a good time. So being able to shoot with your machine guns separately is a wonderful thing.
And you can shoot down lampposts.
Yeah, you can commit deforestation and stuff. So
Yes, to the trees.
to the tree.
That way you can see all the things lurking in them. Trees are the
Exactly.
most dangerous place ever.
A next basic control is probably separating your gunner sight and your commander sight, because if you can see here, he's right over the hill right there, and if I look through my gunner sight, I can't even see him. But if I look through my commander sight, I can see that he's right there pretty well. And this is very helpful if you're behind cover like I am, and there's other things in the way, and you just want to get a more zoomed in look to see what you're looking at. And then you can also control where your gun's going to be at using your machine gun sight. So, but I get a better look at him, and this can be useful if you're like shooting over hills and you can't see over the hills, and measuring gun drop and stuff like that. So, yeah,
And of course, we're
finding
looking.
a bind.
Yeah, finding a bind very important. And also, when you're using your binoculars, you can press RT or just your trigger button to point your main gun and machine gun in the right direction.
So if I'm looking this way, usually it doesn't affect. You can see the circle stay there. But if I put the circle over here and I exit, my barrel's already moving there. So very, very helpful sometimes.
Yes.
All right, next section. Okay, because of these ones being kind of hard to just explain while we're driving around, I actually have my menu open. So having ground repair obviously is a good one. I have my fire extinguisher on the same setting just because I can't repair without extinguishing the fire first anyways. So
Might as well
have
be
them
on the same button.
Exactly. Selection of shells, I never have more than 2 really, because usually when I have 3 it messes me up, but I know that you actually have 3
Yeah.
binds for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have up, right, and left on my D-pad for ammo types, and then I use the down button for food look.
It's at. It should be in camera control. Yes, so view and battle right here. If you set these up, it actually sets your free look up, which is really useful. So if I'm looking at Gabe, I can look behind me and it won't move my barrel at all. So this is really useful.
Especially if
a
you're
lot of
looking around
cases.
corners and stuff.
Yeah.
Like pull up to the corner, then use the camera to see around it.
Yeah, for example, I'll go over here. And if you watch our videos, you'll see us use this a lot, actually. So
I will be example.
if I'm right here and I don't want to push forward any further, I can actually use my free look and see where he's at pretty well, and I don't expose too much of my tank. So that's really useful. I wouldn't be able to see him through here or here, but I can just turn my camera a little bit, and it's perfect. And then if I see an opportunity, my barrel's already on target to actually shoot him. So very, very useful for corner peeking. So
It's very handy indeed.
yeah.
Also, like, just whenever you're in like a cramped space, if there's a lot of friendly tanks around, you can see what's going on around you while you're trying to navigate.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's better than turning your whole turret around, because
Yeah,
you never
and you can
know
look
what's
at
going
your
to be
face.
around that next corner. That's true. You can look at your beautiful tank designs.
But yeah, another one of these things that someone has asked me about is how to get this commander sight, where I'm pretty much right next to my machine gun.
Yeah, isn't it the zoom camera?
Maybe it is zoom camera. it can be useful if you're trying to hear things a little bit better sometimes, because you don't have your own engine noise. That's another setting, is that as soon as you
that's
get
an
into
audio
Warthunder, yeah, as soon as you get into Warthunder, what you should do is, why am I moving? Okay, good. Is go to controls. Actually, no, go options.
It's options.
Go sound, and turn other
My
players'
engine
engines all
volume
the way
down.
up, and then
Yeah.
my engine volume down all the way, and then the other
Yeah.
settings are kind of whatever you want. I have the volume at 60 just because that's for recording War Thunder. It's not too loud and not too quiet.
Yeah.
So,
And of course, like I have music volume all the way down, music and menu all the way down. Sound effects volume is only at 55. I should probably turn that up, but yeah. Gunfire volume is at 60 just because it's really loud if you turn it all the way up. Radio chat volume is only at 7 for me. That's like the stock one, I think, because I haven't touched it. Should probably either turn that way up or way down. I don't know.
Right.
Voice warning system I have all the way up because it's my commander like yelling what type of tank it is when you scout something and stuff like that. So it helps. And tinnitus volume, of course, is at 50%.
Of course.
Also, I have speed of sound turned on because I saw a random thing saying that helped.
Yeah, I have that one turned on as well. So yeah, so audio settings, getting your guns separated, machine guns and main gun, definitely a great first few steps, and then getting your commander sight set up and your gunner sight. And then we'll move on to the next section of what the more in-depth kind of stuff is if you're just trying to get better War Thunder gameplay. Yeah. For the next section of videos, what we're going to do is get into the more in-depth stuff if you're getting into the real nitty-gritty of tanks stuff and you need to have better team help and stuff. Yeah, knowledge, all the good stuff. So look at that rifling right there.
I'm looking at your rifling as well.
So one of the
accuracy.
We got to get that long range gun shooting. So
Yeah.
But yeah. So one of the first things on top of the first section would probably be scouting people with your binoculars. So there's a bind here in it should be.
It's in camera control. It's actually it isn't miscellaneous. Why does it look
okay?
Like it's fine. It's just called active scouting.
Yes, right here. And it's a very, very good thing to have because if your tank allows for it, you'll have an icon at the bottom of your screen but it's really useful if you actually have that on your tank. You can zoom in, and I have it set to my left bumper and X to scout someone, and that lets your entire team see a pinpoint on a tank and its exact location. Instead of like if you shoot a machine gun at a tank, it'll like pin it, but it won't be an accurate pin. It's just the general area of the tank. Yeah. But when you scout something, it's its exact position. So it's very useful.
This is more back to the gunnery side of things. You have the rangefinder, which later on in more modern tanks get a laser rangefinder, which is instantaneous and great for these older style Cold War, World War II type tanks. It's a lot slower, and you have to manually still aim for that distance using your range reticle on your scope sight.
Yeah.
But I just have the rangefinder, which is in the bottom of miscellaneous. Down to X, because I don't know, why not?
Yeah, mine's triangle and left. Or what? Why is it not scouting? Oh, it's because we're in arcade.
It's because arcade battles. We can't range find because it does it for us, which is boring.
Yeah. But mine's triangle and up arrow. I have my binds. I have main setting binds to triangle and my left bumper. They don't do anything on their own, but they're two buttons that I can actually just like.
They're like
have all my other buttons
or shift buttons. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I have left bumper for that, so all of my other controls, besides the joysticks, of course, have a second control when I push the left bumper.
Yeah. But it's good to have designated buttons that are just meant to have binds to them, so that way you're not getting confused of what buttons are what.
Yep. And it also just allows you to have more stuff. Because, like, for the B button on my controller, I'm on Xbox, it shows, like, the map, my ammo loadout, and, like, what tanks I have available and all that. But if I hold left bumper and X, it shows, like, the 3D view of the inside of my tank.
Yes. Yeah, this view right here.
So that way you can see how damaged you are, what crew you have, and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like when you're in the hangar and you do X-ray view.
Yeah. This is really great too because I use it when I'm actually in a tank battle and I don't want to look like away from my screen fully. I can do this and just get a quick glance of like who's hurt in my crew, and it's really helpful.
What all's broken.
Yeah. In that binding, you go to controls, go over to common, and it's going to be X-ray, show vehicle modules. It's going to be very good. So that's if you want it. You don't have to bind it if your controller feels too chaotic and stuff, but just as people who play Warthunder like literally every single day for YouTube, it's very helpful. So
yeah, it comes in handy in the moment. I kind of forget it's there for whatever reason, but it still does come in handy.
Yeah, my lower left third thing has become pretty much obsolete for me because I use it so much.
That's fair.
Another one of the things that you might want to have a good idea of what's going on is your multifunction menu. It's this thing right here where you can do radio messages, your weaponry mobility, but it's just nice to have these radio messages and stuff like that. And if your controller allows for it, I can actually, and you'll see me do this a lot in our videos, where I'll just push forward and hit it, and then I'm able to cruise control. So I'm not even touching my controller currently, but yeah, there's a cruise control button, but it sometimes can be annoying if you accidentally hit it and you're in battle.
Yes, ground vehicle battle settings.
Yes.
I can read through those. Like, turn grass and tank sight off immediately. It'll help you see all, because grasses are really hard to see through. It's like bushes, but not.
So go to your session settings, go to your main, and scroll down to ground battle vehicle settings, and then you don't want grass and tank sight. Very bad. So
yeah. These two are this one's just for, you can turn it off if you want to get back into battle quicker. I don't really care. So I have ground vehicle destruction replay turned on. The hit camera is like the thing in the upper corner that lets you see what you did to the other tank. I'd recommend having that on.
Yes.
I have I have camera from tank gunner sight turned off.
Yeah, I do too.
Because I'm pretty sure what that one does, I could just test it, but I'm not going to. I'm pretty sure what that one does is it moves your... Actually, it's not pretty sure. I know that's what it does. It moves your camera from the end of your barrel, pretty much. From the end of your barrel to your gunner's sight, which means
this is
where you're looking is now different from where your gun fires.
Yeah. So you kind of have to adjust for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Show destroyed modules, of course, have that on mag ground repair missions. The next four things, they're all minor things I don't even have to do. Tactical map scale, that's up to you. I have mine at the stock 100%, but if you want to see better, turn it up. Don't care, turn it down. Doesn't really matter. I have show compass always on in third-person view. Because
I just turned that on.
We need to get better at using it, but like if you're playing with somebody else, you can you can pinpoint things easier. It can be like, yes, it's at 38. I don't know.
Yeah. Another really great one is, can't show you when we're in custom battles like this, but go to controls, common, and then it's going to be set target for squad. We use this
very good
all of the time. So
at least once a battle, but probably way more than that.
Yeah, so instead of dropping like a general marker when you shoot at someone or scout someone, you can drop this marker at any point in the game. Yeah, and it'll drop a yellow mark if you watch any of your videos.
You guys see it in our videos all the time.
Yeah, so
that's what that is. I also have block vertical aiming while braking, which helps the gun wiggle when you're stomping on brakes. So I can get your gun on target faster.
Wait, what
Always
is
handy.
setting is that?
It's still in session settings, ground vehicle. It's block vertical aiming while braking. It's right
You have it
underneath the
on?
color scheme. Yeah, I have it in the yes form.
Oh, that would help me so much. But yeah, I would suggest turning that on because that would have saved me so many times.
Yeah, but that just means like when you stop on your brakes, instead of your gun, when you stop on your brakes, your tank lurches forwards. So instead of your gun going back up, it just lurches with the tank and then comes back when
Yeah,
the tank rocks back instead of now being too high above target and then rocking back.
yeah. Oh, that's actually so nice.
I also have tank machine gun ammo indication turned on just so you can see how much ammo you got left before you have to read.
Yeah, I think
Sometimes
that
handy,
comes
sometimes
turned on
not.
stock, so
It does. It does.
yeah. Another setting that I have turned on that I only use sometimes, it's not necessary unless you're trying to snipe across like an entire map, is sight distance control. Very, very helpful if you use it. I don't use it a ton, but sight distance control. And when you're inside of the settings, you'll actually be able to open this entire personal settings menu. And you do increase value to whatever binds you want it to be. Mine's bumper and up arrow and bumper down arrow. And then I can just reset the axis value, which means it'll just automatically go to 0 and I don't have to sit there and like wait for it to slowly go all the way back to the top. I would turn your relative sensitivity control to 20%, or else whenever you actually go to zoom it in, you'll press it like once and it'll be at the bottom of your reticle, and it's really annoying. So, yeah, that's all I have to say on that.
Still in session settings, because why not? Common battle settings, turn off join active battles, because if you can join a battle, it's almost over, where your team's getting destroyed. So it'll lower your win rate. So just turn that off. It'll make things be better. Have vibration on our controllers turned off. And
Yes.
if you do turn it on, turn it off for when your engine's running, because it's going to be vibrating.
Yeah.
But and then you can also change vibration sensitivity. Once again, that's just a preference thing.
Yeah. Yeah, when things are vibrating, it can just be kind of startling. Like every time you fire your gun, it's like your controller just wants
Yeah.
to shake out of your hand, and it's just
Yeah.
detracting from your other senses. So,
Yeah. And occasionally, because I had it on for a little bit just to experiment with it, after like enough time of constant vibration, like it felt like my fingers were going numb, just because like
Yeah.
the vibration was making them feel weird. So
Yeah.
that messes with the fella.
Yeah, so artillery, we use it quite a bit. It's useful if you've gotten used to it and know like how to use it. But sometimes you'll just use artillery and it does nothing, and that's totally fine. But I have mine X, toggle aiming modes, and cancel artillery. I wish I had artillery on this, but I would normally just I hit X and it opens up a mini map on my screen. I'll just show a clip of this when I actually do it in battle. And then I can select where I actually want to put my artillery, and then that's it, basically. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
And then it helps you memorize like what map features are on the map, so that way you can actually accurately put it on the tank. So
Yeah. It's great. Because you can also kind of use artillery as like, there's a bunch of people over there. I'm just going to vomit artillery and hope for the best.
yeah,
And at like the very least, it'll help like disperse them so you don't have like a tight ball of enemy tank.
yeah. The only time it would be unfortunate is like if there's a Lancaster or a P8 where they can drop a bomb on them, but the case of that happening is very rare. So
Yeah. Not zero. It's happened before, but
yeah,
still rare.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know if there's too much else that we can put.
Of course,
If we
yeah.
didn't
If
go
you
over
have,
some- Go ahead.
yeah, if you have follow-up questions, just ask. Just put them
Yeah,
in chat. We'll
because we can make
maybe
more
make
videos.
a small
so,
part two. You know,
Yeah.
part two
But
control stuff. I don't know.
As far as everything that's blank on here, that when you look at the pictures, it's not really worth having binds for them and crowding your controller, because
Yeah.
it'll probably just be in your multifunction menu eventually in the future. So like, if I have multiple things that require my where my tow hook is, where it's my left bumper and D-pad, there'll be like a menu that will pop up with those, and you can select from them pretty easy. as you get more advanced tanks, it'll just be in those menus for like night vision. I actually have my night vision to something else just because it's funny. But yeah, so
And
anything
it's
blank,
better.
yeah, it's just better. Really, if you can find a bind for something, it'll always be better than a multifunction menu. But
True.
all of the ones that are blank aren't crucial enough for us to actually put them in a bind, especially since
Yes.
like suspension control is like a very niche of like 6 tanks in the game. So
Yeah. Because yeah, with some of the tanks there are some specific controls when you get to more modern tanks that you might need
Yeah.
stuff like suspension control. We don't have any of those tanks. We don't know.
yeah. So yeah, if you have any questions, this should be like a 30-minute video, unfortunately, but it'll be worth it. It's good to have all of your controller binds all set up just to where you're actually comfortable with them and you know how to use them properly. Yeah, it'll definitely make your Warthunder experience better.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add?
I don't think so. Look at me. Look at me in the eye.
Hello. Don't forget to subscribe.